Hey, welcome to the Pharmacy Residency Podcast, a member of the Pharmacy Podcast Network. I'm Tony Guerra, and today I will be talking about residency application burnout, recovering while running. And I didn't realize that while I was doing this professional editing over the last month or so of these letters of intent, and I can still maybe help one or two. It's $75, 2 letters, and I can turn it around hopefully next day. But it's become really emotionally charging for me, and I didn't realize what I was doing, which was I was really removing or relieving the stress of exhaustion. As final year students, maybe you're, and I say homeless, I don't mean you don't have a roof over your head, but you're not at your home. You don't have access to, dual screens like I do. I have all of my software and my computer and my nice cushy chair that I like to write in and all those things. And as a final year student, you don't have those. And maybe you're with friends, or maybe you're with somebody that you don't actually get to hang out with much, or maybe you actually have responsibilities for helping take care of kids while you're there and things like that. And I was just thinking, what is it I'm really doing? And what I'm doing is giving time back, especially around the holidays where you're probably thinking, while you're with your family, you're thinking about your residency applications, and while you're trying to do your residency applications, you're thinking, why am I not actually spending time with my family or your friends and so forth? So, in helping these students write these letters and get them to the very best they can be, I realize that what I'm doing is relieving a lot of that stress. And when they do turn them in, they can be confident that the grammar, the syntax, the sentiment that they want to convey is at a very high level, certainly the top 20%, the type that would get you an interview. And I want to talk about two kind of stories or topics to just kind of give you a little bit of energy, hopefully, in this last couple of days. I know most of the residency applications are due maybe January 1st or a couple of days after that. A couple of them are due tomorrow or today, maybe. There was a movie way back called G.I. Jane, and had Demi Moore, who was going to be the first female SEAL-trained operations specialist. And in that grueling weeding out process, the U.S. Navy SEALs, they test your physical ability, but also your mental stamina. And there is a bell that if you ring that bell 3 times, you can be out. You don't have to do any more of the physical or mental abuse or whatever you want to call it. Even, Master Chief, who it's in Lord of the Rings, but Master Chief is like you can get a warm shower, a meal, you can get some sleep. All you have to do is ring that bell. And he talks about how he wants to get someone to ring that bell on the very first day. And for you in your residency application, ringing that bell is hitting save and submit from exhaustion and frustration, rather than having it be the very best it can. And maybe you didn't know I existed. Maybe you didn't know there are other people that can help you. Or maybe you're even just too tired to reach out to them. Yesterday I absolutely was just too tired to work out. So I went to CrossFit. And that may sound counterintuitive, but what I mean is CrossFit is programmed workout over an hour with many people that I know and friends. And so all I had to do was just use that little bit of energy I had left to get there. The coaches would take care of everything else. And then so I was able to do the workout, and not only do the workout, but afterwards I did a bit of cardio and then 500 double unders to contribute to my team who is in this kind of competition. And it was all because I kind of had this programmed workout that I could go to. And I'll talk about that in a second. But the first thing is, are you actually alone in this fight, or have you just kind of put up a shield to keep other people out so that you could just focus, when really what you might need to do is start reaching out. Okay? So how people make it through SEAL training is they finally come together as a team, and that team is stronger than the outside forces coming from Master Chief and all of those people that are putting them through those grueling workouts. There is a more, I guess you could say, accessible type of physical and mental challenge, which is the marathon. And I want to talk about Marathon Mile 18. So I hate the expression, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. That's really not how it is. It's not a half marathon, it's a full marathon. Because in the half marathon, you don't have a mile 18. You don't have a mile where you exhaust your glycogen stores and you feel like you can't move on. And once I hit mile 18, it's an emotional and physical wall, and you have this sinking feeling, the same kind of sinking feeling you might have had in the past if you broke up in a relationship, you failed a class, or didn't know how you were going to pay for something. That sinking feeling where you're numb and you can't do anything the rest of the day, that's what mile 18 feels like. But there's still 8 miles to go to get to 26.2. So to recover and keep moving forward, as I would in the run, as you should in this residency preparation, I start with reaching out for the help that people are giving. Some people are giving ice or water or gummy bears or goo, these like goo packs that give you a quick burst of sugar. And that's kind of the first thing, is making sure that I'm eating something that can get me the energy I need right away. For recovery, this last time I was a bit hurt and I wanted to finish it, but I knew I wouldn't finish it in 4 hours, which is what I normally do. It'd probably take closer to 5, and it was just under 5. What I did was every 4th and 9th mile I walked. And that might seem like that would take forever, but it actually, you run faster in between them. But every time that clock hit 4 or it hit 9, I knew I had a recovery. So even while I was running, I knew a recovery was just around the corner. And I wasn't thinking. So at 4 hours and 4 minutes, I would stop and walk. At 4 hours and 9 minutes, I would stop and walk. At 4 hours and 14 minutes, I would stop and walk, and so forth. But these were planned breaks. And I needed more breaks more quickly than I normally would in real life, throughout a normal workday, because I had just run, for 4 hours, and I was trying to finish this 5th hour. In the same way, you need to do that too. This is not a normal time. You have all of the normal responsibilities in addition to family, in addition to the holidays, and your career could be on the line. So your recovery must be quick. Tomato timer might be a good idea. 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes of recovery. 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes of recovery, then maybe half hour, hour. But you need significantly more recovery than usual. But I just want to encourage you to not just ring out, to not press save and submit, to make this last push to get the food, the sleep, and the time to recover each day, then press on. Most final year students will give up. Half of them, they'll find out that their effort wasn't enough in March, unfortunately, where 4,000 people are going to get turned away from residency. And doing your best in this last couple days will keep you from regret in March, will keep you from regret in January. So all I can do is say, encourage you and offer my help. And you can get more information at residencyhelp.com. But please don't hit save and submit out of exhaustion. Hit save and submit once you're actually done. Hey, thanks for listening to the Pharmacy Residency Podcast. And if you're interested in learning more about the interview process, go over to Amazon.com, where you can check out 100 strong residency interview questions, answers, and rationales in print book, ebook, and audiobook.